Not to be here or inviting me to be the keynote speaker for this event of the hierarchy. I always make reference to the triangle, and I say that in any organization there are chiefs and there are Indians. If you look at the way the triangle is structured, the Indians are usually at the base, so many Indians, but as you get up the ladder, you have fewer and fewer chiefs. So I guess what we're trying to say is that we're trying to see the route to becoming chiefs from Indians. And I think from the little that I know about the number of participants here, I know that there will be individuals who are starting their career, just starting, about to start. And there will also be so many individuals who are already at some point within the triangle, the career triangle, and looking for ways to get to that peak. And I'll try and speak to the two categories of individuals in the audience. So what I've done, though I said that I wasn't going to present any slides, but overnight I did some work, and what I'll do is to share my screen and go through the conversation in about 30 minutes, okay? Like I said, I will be talking to the two categories of my presentation is getting started and getting ahead. So like I said, the first category of individuals who are just starting, about to start, and also the second category of individuals who are at some point within the career triangle and are looking for ways to get ahead of the curve. Very quickly, I'll just say that the first thing that I'll say to individuals, and this will apply to everybody, is that the first thing to hold on to is focus about your career. Imagination is everything. And I'm saying that it is the preview of life's coming attractions. So imagine what the future will be by concentrating on what the future is going to be like for you. Spend time in the future. The future doesn't happen suddenly. And I've given this example before in one or two places where I had conversations. A friend of, and the guy said, "Why do you need money suddenly?" And the guy said, okay, so suddenly my wife born. And the guy looked at him and said, "Your wife born suddenly." I mean, it gives about 9 months notice at least before a woman delivers a baby. Enough notice about what's coming. So let's focus through the power of imagination on the future. Spend time in the future and fuel the images of what you want to become with positive emotions. Have a roadmap for success. There will be some winning moments, there will be some losing moments, there will be some ouch moments, but the most important thing is to focus. Focus on the now, focus on the future. Yeah, so many people say this, if you can't see it, you can't get it, but please, I'm adding to it, there is a process in the mix. You can say it, you can get it, but you've got to go through a process. Focus is not just about closing your eyes. I can see myself riding a Porsche, and then tomorrow or next week I will be riding. No, that's not life. That's not life at all. Life is about focus, but also about process, determining exactly what you need to do to get there. And if you've not started this journey of in and out of the future, I'm saying that it might be a little late, but it's not too late. Because the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. So focus is, there is no one you will speak with who has reached the peak of their career currently, and they will not tell you that they have focused on the future. So it doesn't happen to us suddenly. Please, number one is focus. Number two, I always say this, the marketplace that we all are going into, the marketplace that we all are right now, it does not pay for anything else except value. What you get out of the marketplace, what you get out of the workplace, what you get out of your career is a function of the value that you add to yourself on a daily basis. It's instructive to know that when the doors are closed after performance appraisals or employees are being discussed, this is one of the questions we always ask around the table. What value is the individual bringing to the table? So beware of the things that are eroding value from you and get ready for your big break every time. Now, the fact that you're adding value to yourself via knowledge, skills, experience, and in some instances, certifications, doesn't mean that as soon as you end, life will offer value to you. But I'm saying that at least get ready from a value perspective, be value focused, and such that when the opportunities for the break comes, then you will be ready. Be ready for the big break. Do not shortchange yourself by not being ready. Do yourself some service and add extra value to yourself on a daily basis. And I say to some friends that before you finally shut your eyes at the end of every day, what value have I added to? It's okay to be on LinkedIn, it's okay to be on Instagram and all the other platforms, but the most important thing really is what value you are adding to yourself, because nobody's going to pay for anything except value. And the outcome of a daily addition of value to self is that we eventually become extraordinary. Life is about time and chance. Take your chances when they come with time, but you will not be able to take that chance from a career perspective. Additional responsibilities, moving into a project, you will not be able to take those opportunities if you are not ready from a value perspective. The world pays for what we do, not what we know. I need to emphasize this. It is not what we know that results in what we get out of the marketplace. It is what we do. There has to be a direct contribution of our daily activities and efforts to what we bring to the team, the department, and the organization before we can say that the individual to his or her into value on a daily basis within a career framework, then you can say, oh, I have not been promoted over a period of time. My boss doesn't like me. The environment, they know who they want to. No, concentrate on value. Don't worry about your circle of concerns. I'll say that please concentrate on your circle of influence. And your circle of influence is where value resides. Okay? Moving on quickly, take action. Nothing happens until we take action. Do not be in the space of thinking about something. I will do it next year. I will do it week after the next. If you've got to do something and that thing is in your quadrant 2, right? So that when the time comes, then you take action. Simple actions trigger other dependencies. Somebody said that if you wait until all the elements of an idea form together before you take action, then you will never take action. Take action, learn from it, incrementally develop the idea, the process, the initiative, do it, take action, add to it, tweak it, but do not sit in the place where you just want to see that everything is totally tidy. Life is about everything. If you must wait to learn from your failures, if you speak with so many people who are successful today, they will tell you that they were at some point in their career journey over a period of time that they failed. I have failed before in my career. I have been told to leave an organization before. I have failed. So it's not been that we just move from the base of the pyramid and it's been smooth sail. No, we will fail, but what we will do is to learn from failure. So what I've found out is that the reason so many people don't take action is because they have failed before and the experience wasn't very good. So what they did was they got stuck in the rut and decided that until things are perfect so that they don't fail again, they're not going to move forward. But please, if you want to fail forward. And the way to fail forward is to do it again, but learn from the things that did not work. If you forever stay in the things that did not work and you do not move forward, then failing, you've got to learn from experience by failing forward rather than staying in the place of regret by failing backwards. So take feedback, take feed forward from the experiences of today and yesterday so that you can add to what's going to happen tomorrow. Do not wait always for your ship to come in. At times, you need to swim to go meet your ship. So take action. Number one, I said, was focus. Number two was value. Number three, action. Change will always happen. I mean, this particular concept or notion of change has been driven home, especially given the crisis we are going through today. We all woke up suddenly and it's COVID-19. Everybody leveled at the same time. We need to, at times, just anticipate that change will happen. We do not have a choice. So the best way to handle change, therefore, is to anticipate it and get ready for it. Do not leave things to chance in our lives. Let's make our career choices. Let's make them happen. Let's be conscious of the things that we want to do and make them happen. There are three categories of individuals: those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and then the wonderful people. The wonderful people, once things happen, they just go, wow, wow. Do not be in the wow category. Be in the change agent category. Do not be in the change victim category. Anticipate change. And this is the point where I'm going to advocate that anybody who has not read the book, Who Moved My Cheese, should grab a copy of that book today and read it. It probably will take you about 1 hour of focus to read through that book, but the learnings will stay with you for a lifetime. Okay? The wonderful people often are the victims of change, and I'm saying, please be proactive. At times, at some point in my career, I realized that the cheese was moving gradually. The iceberg was melting, but so many people did not notice because they were focused on one particular cheese station. They were not looking at the cheese, that the mold was changing, the size was changing, the taste was changing. Don't always believe that every morning when you wake up, you will head on Third Mainland Bridge, go to your organization, your boss will be there, liking your face, salary will be ready. Look at the bigger pictures around you on a daily basis so that you can be ready for change, so that you can see so that you can see the movement of the cheese and you can see the size basis. Please get ready for change. Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, all right, thank you. Now, branding. Okay, thank you. Branding, you may never have a second chance to create a first impression. And I'm going to say especially this to younger ones who are starting out their career. Self-branding is extremely important. Whatever you need to do to make yourself an attractive brand from a career perspective, just do it. One of the things you can do, for me, from a branding perspective, sincerely, is your communication. I have said this over and over, and I cannot overemphasize it. Brand yourself, how you come across to people, how you interact to people, your thought process, your interactions, your responses to issues. And today, because there is now a thin line between our social media lives and our personal or private lives, be careful how you come across on social media. So I'm saying, from an appearance perspective, brand yourself. From a positive attitude perspective, brand yourself. Communication, I cannot overemphasize it. At times, sincerely, when we have 5 people come through interviews, either for promotion or for another job in the organization, what makes the difference at times could just be communication. And think about it. If you were a manager and in your team, you've got 3-4 people, right? Same level, and you want somebody to represent you in a meeting, at an external engagement, in a communication forum like this, who are you going to be looking at to represent you? You'll be somebody who can communicate very well. They communicate the idea, communicate your initiatives and all that. So please brand yourself on a daily basis. You just do not know who's reading you as a person or as a brand. Organizations spend millions of dollars on a yearly basis to differentiate one brand from another on the shelves, so that when I go into the supermarket, I am looking at Ovaltine and I'm looking at Bonvita and I'm looking at Milo and I'm thinking, what brand should I go for? There are distinctive elements that differentiate the different brands on the shelf. See yourself as a brand from a career perspective. Please see yourself as a brand on the shelf, so that when the recruiters are looking for products which you represent, make sure that your product on the shelf is screaming, buy me, I'm here. And it's a combination of many things. Like I said, how you come across, physical appearance. Some people say it doesn't matter. It is what I have upstairs that's important. It's, like I said, you may never have a second chance to have or to create a first impression. A positive attitude, a winning mentality, impeccable communication. Learn the fact that you are a brand. Your abilities is so key. And be excited about the brand that you are. When you're talking about yourself, do not just appear laid back and passive and all that. Speak about yourself. Speak to yourself first with some excitement. And when you're speaking, can I see that you know what you're talking about relating to this particular brand called you? You are a brand. So please make time to create the right impression every time. Okay, moving on quickly. I'm conscious of my time, and yeah, so work-life balance. If anyone has seen the need for us to have a work-life balance, again, it's the time we are going in right now. Create time for yourself, create time for your family, avoid burnout. Let me say this. So many people, they bury themselves into work as if that is all there is to life. And what tends to happen is because of burnout, you reach the maximum level of output and you begin to decline from a productivity perspective. Because you are not finding time for yourself, you are not finding time for other things, you are not finding time for family, you are not balancing life and work. But look at what has happened to all of us. And I was going to put up something on my WhatsApp status, but I decided not to, about 3-4 weeks ago. That work because they're not leaving home to go to Third Mainland Bridge, head to Ikoyi, Marina, VI, Lekki, go to work and come back. The fun, the excitement that comes with all that is no more there right now. And they're saying, hey, what's going on with me? Because all they know about themselves is what? Work and self. But I'm saying, create a structure, and I'm not being descriptive here in any way. I know that individuals who stay alone and don't have families yet and all that, I totally get that. But what I'm saying is that create a balance that works for you so that you see yourself not just about your job. At the end of the day, if you are not creating that balance, it begins to affect your productivity and you're not even able to move on in your career. And that's why most of us are concerned or we are upset. When the promotion list is released, we don't find our names. And we say, but I work how many hours every day in this organization? I don't even have time for my family. I'm here 8 to 5. Even weekends, I'm here. Some Sundays, they call me in church, I'm here. But the point is not the number of hours that you put in. It's the number of productive hours. Let's quickly distinguish between number of hours that we put into work and the number of hours and the number of productive hours that we put into work. That will be the differentiating factor. So this is what the cycle of failure from a career perspective looks like. No vision, no goals, no purpose, no values. We just go round and round in circle, go to work, come back, go to work, come back. No focus, not thinking about change that is happening in our environment. We're not taking action when we should. We're not branding ourselves, and the cycle continues. And this is what I say. For 29 days, we moan and we groan. And on the 30th day, we are happy because it's payday. And then so find something, a balance that works with you. So that's on one side in terms of the 5 things that I think we should concentrate on for getting started and possibly for getting ahead. But let me say this, for those of us who are now in the organization, we have worked for a few years and we are wondering why we're not getting ahead in our career. Is emotional intelligence. It is a fact that all human beings are emotional. We are all a bundle of emotions. But what makes the difference in terms of us getting ahead with our career and climbing that ladder quickly is how high our level of EQ is. You need to balance work, which is IQ, your technical ability to do the job. You need to balance it with EQ, especially now that you're working in a team with people and you're possibly leading one or two people. If you lack in emotional intelligence, it is not likely that you will get ahead in today's world. Today's world is not. So let me just quickly summarize. It is the essence of full understanding of how we manage our behavior, how I manage myself as Yemi Faseun. That's number one. Number two, how we respond to other people's dimension of behavior. So do not say to me, but Yemi, this is me, this is how I am, this is how I have been wired. It's either as my boss or as my subordinate, you live with it or you leave me. No, that is not what it is. That doesn't lead ultimately to success. How we respond to other people's dimension of behavior is so critical. In addition to that, how we navigate the social and societal complexities. I am a bundle of family, of maybe spiritual leaning, maybe some courses that I believe in. I am a combination of all of that. For me and 4 or 5 other people within the team, and be able to work with all of us and achieve results. It's not just only about you. EQ is therefore how we make personal decisions relating to other people's behavior and understanding as well the societal complexities. First, we thought it was IQ that would take us to the top. It worked for a very long time, but currently it is about IQ and the emotional intelligence that we bring to it. Okay? So I say that an individual has a high emotional quotient when your vocabulary or emotional vocabulary is very robust. If somebody is not feeling too well or you are exhibiting some negative emotions and somebody says to you, what's wrong with you? You say, I'm just feeling bad. You know what? It connotes nothing. It doesn't give anything away about how you're feeling. But if you say, oh, I am irritated, I'm feeling frustrated, I am anxious, that is specific to what you are feeling. And you will be able to understand yourself within that context, and your audience will be able to understand you. Possibly prefer solutions or work with you within that framework and get results. But if you just say, how are you? I just know Dejare. It doesn't say anything. So you need to have a robust emotional vocabulary to really tell happiness, joy, excited, whatever you're feeling, say it. We will be able to relate with it. But if you just mention it in broad general terms, well, we will hear you, we will listen, but we will not understand you. So you need to employ specific, you can deal with causes, effects, and therefore solutions. Once you have an interview, oh, okay, we know the solution. Let us do a dry run. This is what you need to do. Prepare, right? Get to know about the job description. Get to know about the job. Get to know about the organization. That begins to relax you. But how? What's wrong with you? I just don't understand how I'm feeling. Nobody will be able to help. You might not even be able to help yourself to determine you can say that you have a high. When you are curious about people and you are able to relate with different dimensions of personality traits, your IQ, your emotional intelligence is very, very high. If you are able to relate with different dimensions of personality traits, don't say that I'm just looking for someone like me to work with. And this also happens to some hiring managers. When it's time to hire, they're looking for individuals like them only. And what tends to happen is you have a boring, not too robust team because everybody is the same. But you're emotionally intelligent when you can thrive very well with people irrespective of their personality traits. When you are dealing with introverts, you are game. When you are dealing with extroverts, you are good. When you are dealing with ambiverts, you can work. You need to understand that curiosity is an outcome of empathy, which ultimately leads to caring about people. If you are not empathetic, you difficult for you to get results through people. Moving on quickly. When you embrace change, when you're envious, because hope is not a strategy. When you do not wait for change, but you make change happen, you're emotionally intelligent. And when you have a ready-made plan after anticipating change, you've got a catalog of options to deal with. So you're always in the mode of what if sort of mentality. If A, then X. If B, then Y. Do not get locked into X and hoping X will work when all the assumptions around X is saying to you that X is not working. You're just stuck in the rut, right? You're emotionally intelligent when you have a very high degree of self-awareness. You know who you are. You know your strengths and your weaknesses. You know when to start, when to stop. Then you're highly emotionally intelligent. When you can also make use of your strengths to full advantage. For instance, if communication skills, if you can leverage on impeccable communication skills, and every time there's a project that has to do with communication, you raise your hand and say, you can do it. If yours is interpersonal relationship, you know how to get things done through people. Like they say, you can sell ice to the Eskimos, right? Then you can be in sales because you're leveraging to full advantage your strength. When you can keep your weaknesses at bay and you make conscious effort to minimize the impact of your weaknesses on relationships at work and everywhere, then you are being successful at emotional intelligence. But when your weaknesses are always getting in the way, when it is time for us to have a meeting against you, and immediately you flip, and people are trying to use body language to calm you down, you're just not listening to anybody, then that is getting in the way of successful relationship at work or anywhere else. When you have an unbelievable ability to read other people and understand their peculiar circumstances. I have been told before that when I'm chatting with people, I can actually read their emotional state. I mean, somebody I chat with every time on WhatsApp, and then we start chatting, and I do not see the usual bubbling individual. The next question I ask is, what's wrong? And I usually get, Yemi, how did you know? That's because you are able to read your audience and understand that something is wrong, and you are able to relate quickly. Maybe you want to come and share some news about yourself, your success, and you realize that, no, this individual is going through some sort of stuff. Let me relax and relate with that individual based on where he or she is coming from. You need to understand people's peculiar circumstances. Somebody who doesn't come late to work every time as a leader comes to late for the first time in 6 months. And the first time is deduct 30K from his or her salary. You do not even want to understand where he or she is coming from. You need to respond appropriately to different situations, right? Understanding emotional intelligence is all about social awareness, not just about you, not just about the audience, but the entire situation around the individual. When you really exhibit negative emotion, when you understand the differences between being passive, aggressive, and assertive. And the last one is where I encourage everyone to be. I would not tell you to be passive. Take anything they say to you. They slap you here, you turn the other one, be passive, another. No, neither am I going to say that you should be aggressive. Hold your ground. Not anybody should say anything to you. But please always be assertive. Be firm about your position without necessarily exhibiting negative emotions. When you are able to draw the line between, oh, they're making fun of me, or they are putting me down. There is humor in everything that we do at times, and you're even able to add to that humor. The humor is about you, right? They're actually making fun of you, but you're able to also poke fun at yourself and allow others to make fun of you, and you laugh about it, even in a seemingly bad situation. Your level of intelligence emotionally is quite high. But if, hey, okay, hey, don't go there, somebody's trying to make fun or just joke about the situation, but you react negatively with anger or aggression, then you need to watch your level of emotional intelligence, okay? These are the things that people are watching and reading about you that will determine the things they're going to say about you when the door is closed. Performance appraisal time or interview moment, and you're not there. People are reading you. Interviews are going on in organizations on a daily basis. People are interviewing you without interviewing you. When you can say no to yourself and to other people, when you understand the concept of self-control, delayed gratification because of the bigger picture, when you honor your commitment and you are assertive about the choices and the responses that you make, then you are likely to be getting ahead in your career. People will begin to see your ability to manage self, manage people, and get results through people. When you let go of past mistakes and you don't get stuck in the rut, when you are constantly drawing the lines between remembering what happened in the past to the point that you can take lessons from it and dwelling with negative emotions by not forgetting the past. There's a thin line. You need to draw that line. You can dwell or you can remember. Dwelling will lead to anxiety. Am I going to make this mistake again? And other negative emotions. But forgetting mistakes completely also can lead to repeating sin. So you need to understand that you need to learn from mistakes of the past, let go of the mistakes, adjust yourself for future successes, and do what we call a balancing act between dwelling and remembering, which is the ability to transform failures into learning opportunities for future successes. That is where you need to stay in. Give without expecting in return. Leadership, for instance, is sacrificial. Understand that it leaves a powerful impression first time every time when you are giving of yourself. When a colleague comes to you and says, Yemi, please, can you help me with this Excel report or spreadsheet? And you say, oh, that is not in my JD. You're not giving without expecting return. When your colleague says, oh, this project, I am overwhelmed, can you please help me? And you say, oh, by all means, when I have a minute, I'll look at it. You are leaving a very powerful impression. Build strong interpersonal relationships and try to create bonds beyond boundaries. I say to people who say that they are coaches and mentors, and I say to them, if there is anybody in your team who is not saying to you, mentor me, if there is anybody in your team who is not in your organization, another team, but your organization who is not saying, please mentor me or coach me or help me in my career, but you've got a huge following outside your organization, believe me, you need to reevaluate. Charity, they say, begins at home. Build strong interpersonal relationships first at work. If you can lead people, if you can build relationships within, then we can leave you with leadership positions about the organization, because you will be able to relate with our clients, with our suppliers, with our stakeholders or shareholders. You'll be able to relate with our customers. But if you cannot even build strong relationships within the organization, nobody's going to give us those responsibilities. Not possible. Stay positive always. Bring the wandering mind under positive control, and understand that your thoughts are just your thoughts. They don't represent your reality. So man's mind is the fiercest battlefield. Understand that you've got, to a very large extent, ultimate control over your mind. And that is the space of emotional intelligence. Somebody said that we have about 60 to 80,000 thoughts running through us on a daily basis. Make it count. Make about 80% of those thoughts positive, so that you are generally always in a positive state of mind. Thoughts shape our words define our world, and actions, repeated actions become our habits. Habits once formed become difficult to break. But where it all starts, it's in the mind. Wind down, there are other individuals in the organizations who are in real leadership positions. We do not expect you to come to the party on a daily basis because of what you can do anymore, but what you can do through people. Once we call you a manager, It actually starts for me from a supervisory perspective. When you have responsibility for 1, 2, 3 people, and we can call you a team lead, and then we call you a manager or a senior manager, the number one thing we're looking out for in you so that you can progress your career is your leadership abilities. So a few nuggets about leadership, and I'm taking some of this from Maxwell's 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. Now, I'm taking the very first one, the law of the lead. Members of your team cannot grow beyond where you have placed a lead on them. And that lead is your own ability for effectiveness. So if you're leading me, and I realize that you've placed a lead on my ability to grow, because of that, because of your own level of effectiveness, what tends to happen is that I'll be looking for ways to outgrow you. And because I can't send you outside of the organization, I'll be looking for other ways outside the organization. So if your attrition rate is very high, then you need to ask if you've created a lead on your team members. It is your ability to determine your own level of effectiveness and making sure that you're constantly on the rise. Where you are today, in terms of ability to lead your team, should not be the same where you want to be next week, next year. Let me say this quickly. If you're looking to become a senior manager, for instance, from a managerial position, nobody start exhibiting the potentials of a senior manager grade. We do not want to promote you into a senior manager and hope that you will start behaving or leading as a senior manager. You need to first show us that, yes, you are ready to be a senior manager, and then we can promote you into that role. The lower your ability to lead, the lower the lead on your potential. That's number one. I'll probably take about 3 or 4 before I stop because I'm looking at the time as well. Influence. If you're not influencing anyone, you are not a leader. You're not a manager. You're not a director. You're not leading anybody. You're just taking a stroll. Your true measure as a leader is in your influence. Leadership is not in the title. That has been said over and over and over. It is not the position that makes you. The leader, the manager actually makes the position. If you're leading without followers, then you're only taking a walk. Again, I say that if you are within an ecosystem, within an organization, and you don't have followers in that organization, don't come and tell me that you have followers on LinkedIn or you have followers on social media. No, it starts from you leading people within the organization. People that you lead, you ask them to give you a hand. If you cannot buy the heart, then you cannot sell the vision to them. First, you need to connect with the heart, and then you connect with the head. The head is where you want them to follow you. The heart is where you sell the vision to them. Move people with emotions, then move them to action. The heart first, then the head. To connect with people, relate with them as individuals. There was a conversation that we were having in a WhatsApp group recently, and somebody said, how do you introduce your colleague? Which do you prefer? Please meet my subordinate, or please meet Yemi Faseun. What works? I mean, relate with me and with other team members as an individual. Please meet Yemi. That's fine. Please meet my subordinate. Quickly, you are letting the world know that you are the boss. The tougher the challenge in the organization, especially now that we are going through a crisis, only leaders who can connect with their followers are making serious headway right now. The others are just struggling. Empowerment. How often or how regularly do you empower people who work with you? If you don't feel secure as a manager, as a leader, you will not empower people. But if you feel very, very empowered and secure, then you can give power away. The best way to hold on to power is to give it away. The number one enemy of empowerment is the fear of losing what we have. But again, we have developed enough people to take over our own responsibilities. The only way is to share ourselves with other people. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys hear
Yes,
me?
we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, yes,
we
we
can.
good.
All right, thank you very much.
Can hear
Leaders,
you.
thank you. Great leaders gain authority by giving it away. And if you push people down, what do? If you want to hold people down, where are you? You are down with them. But for every leader, every manager who is helping people to rise, they rise as well. So empower people you lead. People buy into the personality of the manager before they buy into the vision.
I hear you.
Sell yourself first as a leader before you start setting the vision. Be competent as a leader, charismatic, and also be able to sell the vision to them. The leader will go and find the dream, and then you go and find the people. You are the message of the team, of the unit, of the organization. So if you add leadership capability plus the vision of the organization or the KPIs of the different departments, then you will achieve results. But if you're just holding on to the vision yourself without the right leadership, get the right results. And that is the way to go up. That is the way to start getting to the apex of the career ladder. A leader must give up to go up. If you cannot sacrifice as a leader, then we cannot say that you have good leadership competencies. And don't forget that sacrifice is an ongoing process. We're not saying that you should do it once so that people can say that, oh yeah, I sacrificed for the team last week or last year. No, it's an ongoing process. From time to time, people should look behind at times and actually see that the leader is behind them, not always at the front of things. Give up even more to stay up as a leader. And don't forget, like I said, it's a daily thing. It's not something that we do in a day. Sacrifice is very important from a leadership perspective. Leadership develops daily, not in a day. Like I said, it's like investing in the stock market. You might not make your fortune in a day, but you make your fortune daily. Leadership is a journey, not a destination. It is a process, not an event. What it means is that the leadership capability that got you to cadre will not be the same leadership capabilities that will make you a director or COO or ED or CEO. You need to continue the journey on a daily basis and you develop your leadership capabilities. Once you become a manager or supervisor of people, the law of navigation, anyone can steer the ship, but it takes the leader to chart the course. We are not waiting for you to steer the ship. We are actually thinking the journey is going to be a journey of 3 days. Chart the course of the journey, not just the immediate terms. You must be the leader that climbs the tallest tree in the forest and says to the team, guys, we are cutting trees in the wrong forest. Let's move on. Or guys, it will take us longer hours, or we need better tools to work in this forest and all that. But you must be that leader who sees farther than the others, and you must be able to see quicker. Because again, this is where competence comes in as a leader. If your team members cannot see that you are competent as a leader, then the ability to follow you will be minimized. If the leader can navigate the team through rough waters, or cannot navigate the team through rough waters, the ship is likely to sink. You retain the responsibility for the ship to sink or not to sink. The law of solid ground is trust. If you can't trust people, do not lead people. I'll say that again. If you can't trust people, do not lead people. And the 3 C's of leadership come into play here. The confluence of the 3 C's of leadership. For you to be a leader, you must exhibit competence, connection, which is charisma, character. We must be able to know that you have our back as our leader. We must know that when you go into that room to talk about our department, you're not going there to say, oh, I do not have a strong team. I have a weak team, but I'm managing them. We want to be sure that you're going to be saying exactly what you said to us that you're going to be saying in that room. Character makes trust possible, and trust makes leadership possible. A leader's lasting, I think this is the last one. A leader's lasting value is measured by succession. Like I said, you can't go higher if you have not developed people to take your own position. Your legacy will only be created when you put somebody else in the team to do great things without you. We want you to be away from the team at times, right? But job continues because you are developing people. Leadership isn't significant for its impact on others. If you are not making impact, any impact at all on your team, your department, your division, your organization, then your level of leadership might just be at level 1 or level 2 when we expect it to be at level 5. Create a legacy organization. Let people long for you. When this guy was here, things were moving faster. Let people long for you. So what I'm saying finally is that from a leadership perspective, for you to get to the real apex of the triangle, it's about leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything. Thank you very much.